Right guys, welcome to another World Cup team preview series. And in today's episode, we will be talking about Uruguay. That's right, we'll be talking about one of the South American teams at this World Cup. And if you like this sort of World Cup team preview series, why not hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss any of these World Cup team preview updates that will be ending very soon. We're in the second to last episode, so without further ado, let's get into the video. So Uruguay are a part of the CONMEBOL or the South American region when it comes to World Cup qualifying, and the nickname of the team is La Celeste, which is basically means the sky blue, noting to the kit of the Uruguay team and the flag of Uruguay having, light blue. And a fun fact for you is that Uruguay, I think everyone knows this, Uruguay were the first team to win the FIFA World Cup at home soil in 1930. Uruguay also, in the next appearance they had, which was in 1950, they also won the World Cup. So technically Uruguay have been back-to-back World Cup champions when they appeared at the World Cup back in the 1930s and 1950s. And Uruguay have appeared at 13 previous World Cups. And obviously they qualified for the last 3 World Cups and made it out of the group stage in each time. And obviously the best finish in recent times was a 4th place finish back in 2010. And so during the World Cup qualifying campaign for Uruguay, Uruguay ultimately finished 3rd in their qualifying group, which contained practically every South American team throughout the World Cup qualifying. And actually, with just 14 games to go out of 18, so 4 games to go, it looked like Uruguay might be missing out from the World Cup, as Uruguay were as low as 7th in CONMEBOL qualifying, and it actually did look like Uruguay might miss out on the World Cup. Well, they changed their fortunes as they sacked the manager, Oscar Tabarez, and brought in a new manager who helped them win about, I think, 3 or even all 4 of the remaining World Cup qualifying schedule matches. And that ultimately led to Uruguay actually overtaking Ecuador for 3rd place, and eventually sealed Uruguay's qualification for the World Cup with just 1 game to go. So a very good campaign for Uruguay in the end, when it really mattered, and Uruguay will be at the World Cup for the 4th consecutive time. And so the head coach or the manager of the Uruguay national team is Diego Alonso, who recently just taken over from the team earlier this year when Uruguay were in a very bad run of form in World Cup qualifying. And so Diego Alonso managed to help Uruguay overcome the difficulties and help them qualify for the World Cup. And so some of the star players of the Uruguay team include the likes of Luis Suarez, Darwin Nunez, Fernando Muslera, Federico Valverde, and Rodrigo Bentancur. And so there are some very big names for this Uruguay team, both the old guard and the new guard. So let's see how they line up. And so at this World Cup, the way that Uruguay likes to play is that they like to play in a 4-4-2 formation. So a very classic original formation in which Uruguay have a lot of control in midfield, and they have very competent and very lethal strikers to punish teams when they are attacking with the ball. And so some of the strengths of the team is the goal scoring. You have players such as Luis Suarez, Darwin Nunez, Edison Cavani, who are all very lethal in front of goal, and that can actually help and supplement Uruguay in terms of the goal scoring at this World Cup, as Uruguay have one of the most potent attacks in all of this World Cup, I would believe. And another strength of this Uruguay team is the midfield protection. You have players such as a Bentancur and the Arrascaeta, who are able to control a lot of the midfield and protect the back line of Uruguay, but they also like to go a lot forward in order to help and supplement the attack and the creativity for the Uruguay team. But there are some weaknesses to this Uruguay team. One of it is a lack of pace at the defense. Uruguay's defense isn't really the best in the World Cup, as Uruguay actually conceded 22 goals during World Cup qualifying, which is actually, I believe, the most out of any of the qualified South American teams. They conceded 22 goals during qualifying, but they did score 22 goals at the same time. And so there's not a lot of pace when it comes to the defense and trying to be very expansive when they are pushing a little bit higher up the pitch. Uruguay probably would have to be sitting back and be a little bit compact when they are trying to defend their goal. And another weakness of this Uruguay team is actually a little bit of the creativity from the wings. Uruguay usually like to play a little bit more in the middle of the park and try to hit teams a lot more directly, because there's not a lot of good quality in terms of the wingers or the wide players that like to push forward and deliver a lot of very good chances or big chances for the Uruguay team. This does not mean that they're terrible players, but it is not really the best position and a lot of the best quality from that sort of area of the pitch of Uruguay. However, obviously that makes the midfield block or the midfield protection, the midfield players being able to push forward and try to help whenever possible if the creativity is not really there from the wing. And so that's some of the weaknesses and the strengths of the Uruguay team. And so for this upcoming World Cup, Uruguay have been drawn into Group H, and they will begin their campaign on Thursday, the 24th of November, 4 p.m. local time in Qatar, where they will be taking on South Korea. So that'll be a big match, and it's actually a revenge match for South Korea when Uruguay played South Korea and beat South Korea back in 2010 in the round of 16. And then on Monday, the 28th of November, 10 p.m. local time, Uruguay will be up against Portugal, a team that they knocked out at the last World Cup in the round of 16. So once again, another revenge story for Portugal's end, but Uruguay hopefully has a lot of quality to punish Portugal as well. And then on Friday, the 2nd of December, 6 p.m. local time, Uruguay will be up against Ghana, a team that they are very known for because of the 2010 FIFA World Cup quarterfinal, in which Luis Suarez used his hands to not have Ghana scored practically the winning goal of the match, and eventually Uruguay were able to beat Ghana on penalties back in 2010. So once again, another revenge story for Uruguay's opponents. But with those demons that those teams may have on Uruguay, Uruguay hope to probably add more onto those demons and eventually qualify for the next round and hopefully do well at this World Cup. And so, will Uruguay be able to stop these teams from taking over and beating them? Well, time will tell. So that's it for this World Cup team preview series on Uruguay. And if you guys like these sort of World Cup team preview videos, why not hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel. And also ring the notification bell so that you don't miss any of these World Cup team preview updates that'll be coming out over, well, actually, there's actually just one more episode, which will be coming this Friday, the 11th of November. And at last, the very final and last episode in which we'll be talking about Wales. Yes, that's right, we'll be talking about Wales in the next and final episode of this World Cup team preview series. And obviously, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss out when that video comes out this Friday. And until then, I will see you guys in the next one.